Labor Law of Cambodia. 1997, the suspension of the labor contract. Article 71, the labor contract shall be suspended under the following reasons. 1. The closing of the establishment following the departure of the employer to serve in the military or for a mandatory period of military training. 2. The absence of the worker during obligatory periods of military service and military training. 3. The absence of the worker for illness certified by a qualified doctor. This absence is limited to 6 months, but can, however, be extended until there is a replacement. 4. The period of disability resulting from a work-related accident or occupational illness. 5. The leave granted to a female worker during pregnancy and delivery, as well as for any postnatal illness. 6. Absence of the worker authorized by the employer, based on laws, collective agreements, or individual agreements. 7. Temporary layoff of a worker for valid reasons in accordance with internal regulations. 8. The absence of a worker during paid vacations, including an incidental travel period as well. 9. The incarceration of a worker without a later conviction. 10. An act of God that prevents one of the parties from fulfilling his obligations, up to a maximum of 3 months. 11. When the enterprise faces a serious economic or material difficulty or any particularly unusual difficulty, which leads to a suspension of the enterprise operation. This suspension shall not exceed 2 months and be under the control of the labor inspector. An employer can terminate a suspended contract provided that the reasons for the suspension have been remedied and he has given prior notice in accordance with the law. Article 72. 1. The suspension of a labor contract affects only the main obligations of the contract, that is, those under which the worker has to work for the employer, and the employer has to pay the worker, unless there are provisions to the contrary that require the employer to pay the worker. Other obligations such as furnishing of accommodation by the employer, as well as the worker's loyalty and confidentiality towards the enterprise, continue to be in effect during the period of suspension. 2. The suspension of a labor contract does not lead to a suspension of the union's mandate or the workers' representatives. 3. Unless otherwise specified, periods of suspension are taken into account when calculating employment seniority.